Yo, what's good YouTube? It's your boy Sick, and God bless if you're able to watch this video today. And I am back with another Bleach Rebirth for Souls video for you. And this video is basically going to be about changes that I think that needs to happen to keep this game lifespan going. This game is really good. I like the game. Obviously, it has a lot of issues, it has its glitches and bugs. But the game has a strong foundation in its combat, but there are a lot of issues. But it's not like the issues are not fixable. I feel like if all of these issues are addressed in some type of patch later down the road, this game could be very successful as a competitive fighter. I'm not just being biased because I'm a huge Bleach fan. I also play fighting games a lot. I've been playing fighting games for like all my life. And now I've been alive for 36 years. And I've been playing fighting games since like Tekken 3, even before that. So I see where the game could be good at. Now I know it's not that intricate and this is pretty much strike throw mix up. But I do like that is kind of footsie heavy and so on and so forth. But it's a little bit too footsie heavy, and we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about that. But first and foremost, if you are enjoying this game and you really love this game, if we keep this game in the state that it's at, this game will die. And I don't want this game to die because it's a really fun game. So please, if you agree with me in this video, please hit the like button. I would like to get this video get as many views as possible so we can get out to Tamsoft. And Tamsoft, y'all could take some of my ideas. I'm letting y'all know what to do to fix the game. Alright? I really thought about every single thing that I'm about to mention in this video. And I feel like every single thing that I mentioned in this video will tremendously improve this game. Alright? So please, audience, hit the like button. Hit the like button so this video can get out there. Alright? Because we got to change up this game. Alright? We can't let this game die out. Alright, so the first thing we're going to talk about in this game that definitely need to change is the movement. This game is just way too slow. I understand the route that he was going with the sword fighting footsie heavy base movement, but there are a lot of cheap things in this game. The maps are incredibly huge. If the maps was smaller and more condensed, that would be a different story. But since the map is just a big open space, there's a whole bunch of space that you could just backdash to survive and so on and so forth. And with the walk speeds in this game, it's just very terrible. The walk speeds in this game is so bad. You feel like you're walking with mud. Like a character like Bankai Ichigo, I feel like I'm walking. He can move better than other characters, but at times I still feel like I'm moving in mud. And it gets really worse for other characters. And I'm gonna show you some comparisons. So Rukia actually has a pretty good walk speed, and to me, I feel like this should be like the standard walk speed in this game. It's not too fast, it's not too slow, it's perfect. You can get in and out and move and so on and so forth. So I feel like Rukia walk speed should be like the standard for almost all characters. Base Ichigo has a really good walk speed as well. So around the faster tier characters, they should have this type of walk speed. But come on, bro. Come on. This is ridiculous. It takes Aizen 20 seconds to walk a full circle around the character 3 squares out. Come on. And I know Aizen has an amazing backdash, but he should be able to walk faster than this. And just shorten his backdash, if anything. I feel like the slower characters' bottom line speed should be around this. No questions asked. It should be at least around this. And then middle of the pack characters' speed should be around this. And I also feel like every single character should have this. Every character should have this. I don't understand why that's only locked into her. Every character should be able to dash to the side. At least if you don't want them to dash and still move forward, at least let them have a burst dash to the side, because trying to sidestep projectiles are a little bit of a hassle with the input delay online and so on and so forth. And sometimes walking is just so committal. Like that's why at higher levels of play, you get that little walk a little bit, hold the block button. Walk a little bit, hold the block button. Because if you're facing a range type of character, when you're walking, it takes a while for your hand to come up and block. So you can easily get hit out. So that's why at higher level of play, the game slows down tremendously because of this. The walk speed is terrible. We can't dash to the side. You can only dash forward. The only character that could dash to the side is Halle Bell. It don't make no sense. And the side steps is not that useful. Like side steps has its uses, but as in terms of like approaching, trying to sidestep or move correctly, you could do so, but sometimes you get beat out as well. And I blame that normally on the input lag online, but still, you sidesteps need a little bit of buff, or make it that we could sidestep dash to the left or right. Now, we don't have to exactly do a sidestep dash like how Halle Bell does it, but we let us be able to do something where we could do like a short burst sidestep to the right where we could evade projectiles. I don't think that's too much to ask for. You have that type of movement in the game anyways. I've seen it from the story mode where characters could free run. Then Halle Bell has something like that. So I'm pretty sure it's not that hard to just implement you having a burst dash to the right or left. This will really help players maneuver around projectiles. And you don't even have to make it like a really strong burst dash to the side, or you could give it a little bit of recovery so it's only used in that type of situation, right? Not enough where the opponent is very far away they could punish you, but enough where you're able to dash out the way and still be able to block if the opponent is too far away. Now if the opponent is right up close to you, that's when you could use the side steps to avoid attacks. And that gives me more of the Tekken feel when it comes to side walking and side walk, like a side step and a side walking. It gives that little type of feel to avoid techniques and attacks in this game. And I think that'll be a very, very great change. Movement to me is definitely the number one thing that has to change in this game, for real, for real. Tansoft, I really hope that you're listening. The movement has to change. If it don't change, at a competitive level, the movement is going to look stale, right? At least give them a little bit more movement, faster walk speed, a little bit less recovery out of dashes. But dash attacks, you can have recovery, but off of like a regular normal dash, give it a little bit less recovery, and you're going to be good, all right? You're going to be good. If you do those changes, that's going to be a very good start to making this game the best it possibly could be. Another change that I think that need to happen is the awakening system. I feel like the awakening system has to be reworked, and I feel like I thought of a very good idea to make the awakening system work, but the way it is now, it's not that good. So in the beginning of the match, you have 9 compactable, or your stock lives, right? And for the most part, other people has lower, but for the most part, you have whatever you have at the beginning of the match, right? And the fight goes on, and you're getting to a point where you're about to kill the opponent. You could choose or take away the stocks of lives. You could choose to either, as soon as you get them in red, knock them back and do a keycon move, and you're going to take away 1 less life stock than you would if you was to soul break the opponent. So let's just say you're a character who's in the beginning of the game could take away 3 stocks of lives with a keycon move, but you would choose to use the keycon move as soon as you get them in the red. You're only going to take away 2 stocks of lives. Where if you was to actually deplete the whole character's reishi bar, you would take away 3 stocks of lives, right? Now, the problem with that system, right, is this game heavily rewards the person that is losing, right? So if I choose to kill somebody, right, take away their stock lives in the very beginning of the game, and 9 times out of 10, automatically, as soon as I take away their lives, they have their awakening available to them, right? And then since their awakening is available to them, they could pop their awakening, and now their awakening keycon move is 1 stock life higher than it was normally. So now, if it was at a 3, it's now at a 4. And now it's coming a strat to actually lose. You could keep the game close, right? You keep the fight close in the very beginning, right? Y'all could both be down in the red, but you could lose on purpose, come back with your awakening, pop your awakening, and then so break your opponent, and then you're going to be taking away 1 stock more because of the awakening buff, and now you're back in the lead. And at times, this makes no sense. For real. Like, I could be outplaying somebody completely, right? And my awakening bar takes forever to build up because I'm beating their ass, right? And I could still be fighting them well into their awakening, right? They could awaken, and I'm still fighting them well into their awakening, and I still haven't even got my meter yet, right? My awakening yet. And then they kill me, take away 4 bars, get more health, right? Now they in the life lead. And then after that, since they've been fighting and awakening longer, right? By the time I hit them with another keycon move, right? I'm going to take away whatever I take away because I'm down right now. For me being up, I'm actually going to be down. Because now when I'm awakening, yeah, my awakening is going to do 4 bars, right? But as soon as I hit you with a keycon move, that's going to build up your fighting spirit up again to the point where you could do your sublimation, where your keycon move now does the max damage it could do. And if you hit me again, if 9 times out of 10, if I don't have a revive character, I'm done and game is over. Even though I was winning from the very beginning. And that's the problem with the game. You have to be super running down the opponent to avoid that situation. But if you're facing anybody at a high level, you're going to get hit eventually. And then when you get hit in situations like that happen, it's so demoralizing. It makes no sense. So I have a couple solutions to fix the awakening system. I know that was a little bit of a long rant, but bear with me and hear me out. So the first solution, and it's probably the easiest solution, is every single time you soul break your opponent, you gain back 1 stock of lives, right? That's the simple solution. So that will force opponents to go to try to soul break more than just doing the regular keycon move. The only thing about that is the matches. If you do the math, let's just say every single time you have this keycon exchange, right? So he does his keycon move and he gets a life. You do your keycon move and gets a life, and it keeps going back like that. Then the matches will take pretty long. Even if you do make the change to the movement, which I think has to happen, the matches will probably still take pretty long. So I have another solution, right? And I really thought about it, right? So the second solution is, so you split the fighting bar spirits to 2, right? And you have to fight to get that fighting spirit up to at least the halfway point, right? So now when you get to your opponent down to the red and you choose to just go for the keycon move and not the soul break, if your fighting spirit is not up to that halfway point, you will only take away 1 stock of health or 1 stock life, right? If you do get the fighting spirit to the halfway point, by the time you go for the keycon move, as soon as they get into the red, you will take away 2 stocks of life, right? And if you go for the soul break, you will take the complete 3 stocks of life. I feel like that should happen, and you will avoid situations where your opponent goes awakening and they immediately hit you with a keycon move and they take away four bars of life, and now they're in the life lead. That's kind of dumb to me. So I feel like this will balance it out more, where you have to really think about what you're gonna do when it comes to the life lead, right? So if I get a random Haki hit, right, and you're in the red, or I get a random hit and you're in the red, right, and I'm in a situation where I could just hit you with a keycon move, I'll have to think about it now. Where, okay, if I do the keycon move right here, but my fighting spirit is not to the halfway point, I'm only going to take away 1 stock of health, and that's the lowest. That's not going to really matter much. But if I get my life to the halfway point and then do the keycon move, I will take away that 1 extra Konpaku stock that I'll now get when I'm in Awakening, right? And then when you have Soul Break the opponent in general, you get the full keycon stock, right? They should do it like that. So for another example, if I'm Renji, right, and my keycon move takes away 3 in the beginning, it will only take away 3 if I'm able to Soul Break. If I don't Soul Break, then it will take away 2, depending on if my fighting spirit is halfway yet or not. And if I don't have the fighting spirit halfway up and I choose to go for the red regardless, I will take the least amount of lives, which will be 1, right? Now it makes it that you really have to manage your stock lives, and you can't just do stupid. You can't just win off of a really strong combat mechanic. You have to really outplay your opponent, and so on and so forth. Even though it sounds a little bit complicated, the Konpaku Reishi system in this game is already complicated. So I think them doing this wouldn't hurt much at all. It would help the game out. And yeah, and you can still have your combat mechanics. You just have to go about it a different way. You can't take the cheat way out and just go Awakening and Soul Break the opponent, and now you're back on the life lead. That's kind of whack. I feel like once you go Awakening, you have to fight and earn that a little bit to get back to that point. Just a little bit. You're stronger, so you could do more damage. So it's easier for you to get them, and you take less damage. So it's easier for you to get them into the red state faster than it is for them, a non-awakened character, to get you into the red state. So the trade-off is that you do more damage, right, compared to normal. That stays the same, but you have to fight a little bit in that awakened state to get the full potential of your keycon moves. That to me makes the most sense, and hopefully y'all understand what I'm saying. Maybe I went on a little tangent, but hopefully you understand, and let me know in the comment sections how you feel about that. And again, all these changes that I'm making in this video has the foundation of it will start in movement. If you improve the movement, the matches wouldn't last as long. You have more interactions with opponents. You won't have this just 2 players just sitting back really far from each other, waiting. You won't have the type of elements, because now we're actually able to walk faster, get in faster, and so on and so forth. So moving on, the next change I want to talk about is the meter system, specifically the reverse gauge system first. I feel like reverse gauge needs to fill up way faster than it does. The main reasons why, because you have to use the reverse gauge a lot in this game, and you don't really have a lot of chances to use the reverse actions because of it. At a higher level of play, well, some people just do the whole follow up every single time, right? And then they don't got no reverse gauge. So that's understandable. But then also, it's like you need to use the flash step to get in, because the movement is so terrible in this game that if you facing somebody who's fighting you from full screen, walking is so committal, right? You could get hit out of, if you mid range and you got a character that can hit you from that range, that walking, a extended walk is really committal. So that's why you have to like walk and block, and so on and so forth. So when you play like that at a higher level, it takes forever you to get in. So the fastest way to get in, if you have the reverse gauge for it, is to do a flash step, right? Now, when you do a flash step, You could get in and you could start your offense, but let's just say your opponent had 100% meter, right? And you get and start your offense, boom, they pop in their reverse action for you to get off them, all right? Okay, that's cool, right? But let's just say a situation where you're trying to flash step out of the way or something, and there's a lot of stuff that tracks in this game, like flash stepping, opponent that's trying to grab you, the grab they're tracking, projectiles be tracking. It's a lot of stupid stuff that be tracking the flash step. So now you got hit, you get caught in a combo, right? And you don't have the meter to reverse action because you just used it to do a flash step. And now you get sent back full screen, and then you're in the same situation again. And then your opponent actually have meter now. They have reverse gauge meter now, right? So now when you fighting your way through again and again and again and get back in, you still don't have enough meter to do anything when you get towards your opponent, right? And then your opponent has a get off me tool once you get towards your opponent. So that's one situation that's kind of like, it's kind of trash in this game. So to fix that, what you could implement is basically just you gain more meter as you dash towards your opponent. You gain meter as you dash towards your opponent. You have to make that change. You have to make some type of change, and I feel like that's the perfect change to do. Any type of forward momentum movement gets you meter. I feel like that's the best thing to do. It rewards movement going forward. So now when you're facing those characters that keep backpedaling the whole match, at least you're building upon something, right? Because, for instance, if you find the Aizen who has his stocks up, now he's zoning you, right? You're going in, you're trying to get in, you're going to get hit a couple times, right? You're going to extend a little bit and you're going to get hit a couple times, right? And as you're getting hit, that Aizen is gaining fighting spirit, right? And that fighting spirit is adding to his evolution stage and so on and so forth in his awakening, right? Where you're pressing forward, he keep backpedaling, and you're not making no progress because you don't have the reverse gauge meter to deal with it. So it is kind of annoying. So that's why if you implement this change and reward forward movement, you get more engagement in the gameplay. On top of making the movement speed faster, you reward forward movement, you get more engagement in the gameplay. You still get the two different types of play styles of zone in and rush down characters and so on and so forth. But at least the rush down character or the character that needs to get a little bit closer can deal with this situation more. Because if they don't have no meter, they really can't deal with the situation at all because of how the game works and moves and so on and so forth right now. So I think that's a really, really good change. I also feel like when you're fighting awakened characters, you should get more reverse gauge as well. As you're getting hit, your meter builds up faster because you're fighting a stronger character at this point, and your damage, you don't do nothing to them, right? So at least build my meter so I have more options to defend against these characters. You understand? When I'm whooping somebody's ass and then they go awaken and they get this crazy state, I could be outplaying them as much as I could. But if I get hit at least one time, they're going to take some damage. So at least give me something to play with. There has to be some type of trade-off. And I feel like that would be the best trade-off is by advancing forward with gain your reverse gauge meter way quicker. And getting hit by awakened characters builds up your reverse gauge way quicker, and then you will have more chances to use your reverse actions because your meter gain builds up more, right? So it should build up faster in awakening, it should build up faster while you get hit by awakened characters, and it should build up as you move forward. I feel like those three changes will help the game out a lot. When you have constant meter, you're going to be able to do more things, right? Safety in this game is really like you could commit, since there's not that many button strings, there's only 3 hits, and with the special flash attack, you press it 2 times, a whole move come out. So you could get punished a lot by anticipating something and using a special flash attack and it gets blocked. and then you're gonna get punished, and you can't do nothing. So at least if you had the increased meter gain, you would have more situations where you could use the reverse actions, and you could use the reverse actions in many different ways, because you have a reverse action that gives you health and meter, right? But you don't get to see that a lot because you always got to use your reverse gauge. All right, then you have a reverse action for extended combos, but you don't get to see that a lot because you have to use your meter, right? Then you got a reverse gauge to break out of combos, and that's the one that you see probably the most. But it's like, damn, once I use that, it takes forever for the reverse gauge meter to comes back. So that's what I think. I think that you should gain reverse meter in those type of 3 ways, and then that would tremendously improve the game. You will start to see new strategies and new gameplays because of that change. I'm telling you, Tansoft, make that change, and the game will be better in the long run. Another change I feel like that should happen has to do with the meter game. I feel like the meter game, when it comes to being hit to not getting on to attacking, it's not fair. So right now I'm gonna have Toshio build meter, and as you can see, it's 15 to 5, right? So you gain twice as more meter than the opponent when you're hitting them compared to when you're getting hit. And I think that should change a little bit. Like, I feel like you should still get more meter, but that number could be more around like 15-8, something like that, 15-7, 15 to 5. And then when you're facing against combo characters that could just re-loop back into meter over and over again, it's kind of crazy. It gets kind of ridiculous. Like, they could loop meter up to 3 times, and it takes you, and by the time they keep looping that around, you will only get 50% of meter, and they used 100% of meter 3 different times. It's kind of crazy. So I feel like that's definitely something that they gotta change. And a quality of life change that I would like to see in this game is that I feel like the sidestep attacks is really, really good if you start to incorporate it in your movement. If you could move right in this game, because against high level characters you can't really move. So that's why, again, when you have faster movement, it can open up more stuff when it comes to competitive play. But one thing I will say is that I feel like characters should have a dash and attack moving backwards, right? So there's going to be situations where you backdash. You can make the correct read and backdash your opponent, right? But you're not in range to punish, right? Let's just say you made the correct read. Your opponent hits or presses a quick attack button. You dodge out the way. You're not in range to retaliate though, right? You made the correct read, but nothing's going on because there's no type of attack that happens when you move backwards. And if a Chad and Uryu, it would make them really, really better if they have access to their dash attacks moving backwards. And I just feel like every single character in the game should just get an added animation to have a dash attack, right? They should easily do that. I also feel like there should be more moves, right? There should be special flash attacks, just like how there's special flash attacks. There should be special signature skills. And it should be also special quick attacks, right? So you hold forward while you're doing all these inputs and you get the special version of those moves, just like how you have a special flash attack. And you could do the same thing with your meter moves. You could have a spiritual pressure move 1, spiritual pressure move 2, and a special spiritual pressure move 1 and 2. And that will expand the move set in this game, because one of the complaints right now is that is very limited because there's not that many moves. And even though I like the game a lot and I feel like the game has a very good foundation and could be improved upon, that is kind of correct. So if they was to add those moves, special type of moves with the forward input to the buttons, I feel like that would help the game out a lot as well with longevity down the road. That don't have to exactly come right now at this moment, but maybe in a season 2 or so on and so forth, you could add stuff like that into the game. And the last thing I want to talk about is the Hakiki break or Hakugeki break or whatever like that. I feel like it's very underwhelming. I feel like it needs to have armor all the way through. The fact that it only has one hit of armor is ridiculous. You could do stuff like this and beat the opponent out, and it's stupid. That don't make no sense at all. The fact that I could make a correct read that you're going to attack me after, but you could just mash quick attacks again and it beats me out because the second hit comes out before the Hageki break fully executes is kind of whack to me. Armor all the way through would make more sense. I understand kind of a little bit why they went this route. It's because I feel like it's because they feel like people's going to spam it, but you kind of need this. You kind of need an armor too to get people off you at times, because when you're facing good people, the offense could be crazy, right? And it's already against a game where you up close with the strike throw mix up. At least give me another option with the throw. I mean, with the strike, right? Like I could backdash. Give me multiple options. I know I could backdash. I could perfect dodge, but also give me the option to use my armor. All right. There's going to be situations where you're a plus in this game and there's nothing you could do about it, right? That's when you need your armor, right? And your armor needs to have full armor invincibility. It should not be partial. It should not be only one hit. It needs to be full armor invincibility. Now, if you worry about people just spamming this move, just make it that you can't ho-ho follow up off of a raw one, and that's it. Just make it that this is just a reset back to neutral move that is restricted in that, right? Or if it's not restricted and people ho-ho after that, hey, who cares? Ho-ho, you ain't gonna do that much damage. Just scale it a little bit more and you're good, right? But I feel like that needs to be the way it would go. It could get a little bit scary when you get to the Reishi state, I guess, but remember, if you do the other change with the awakening system and how the Kanpaku bars stock lives works, then you wouldn't have to worry about this move being overpowered. But yeah, folks, that's pretty much the end of the road for this one. This has been like a 30-minute rant, but I feel like this rant is definitely needed and people need to talk about this, right? And since I come from a competitive fighting game aspect and my mindset and look of how the game plays and so on and so forth, I feel like, and I'm a Bleach fan in general. Bleach is my favorite anime. I want this game to succeed. I want this game to be played at a higher level competitively. I could see this game being an Evo, maybe at least 1 year, right? The game has potential to make it there at least 1 year, but the state that the game is in now, sadly, it won't make it there. But with these changes, it could possibly make it there. Who knows? But at least if you do these changes, it would definitely be more competitive and it will make more sense. All right. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Please smash the like button. We need to get this video out there. If you like my suggestions, let me know in the comment section below. Let me know some of your suggestions or anything like that. But yeah, anyways, I hope all of you had a nice day. God bless. Peace.